Hey guys, Myles here. It is Thursday, so that means live fire. We are going to do exactly what we did on Monday during dry fire and work on drawing, now with a precursor to movement here. We're still typically staying stationary here, but we're adding a little step, not just pivoting, because eventually we might want to move. So we're going to do this quickly here in the sense that a quick recap, then dive right into it. Remember, when we are turning, it doesn't matter where I have targets down range, you're always going to look at your target first, then take your little step, and then draw and engage, okay? When you do this, because I don't know what your skill level is, let's just take baby steps, okay? No timer for today, all right? If you feel comfortable, you can add a timer, but I'm not gonna use it because I want you to really focus on getting the proper mechanics with your footwork and defeating your garment, or making sure you have a good draw. Remember, most people, when you're adding layers of complexity, they forget the safety habits of the previous techniques that they were doing. So some of you, if you're adding your footwork, you might now get wild with your shooting, okay, or your draw. Make sure you maintain really good technique. So I have my targets set up. They're at about 7 yards, but you can use any distance you want to. Clearly, this is something you might not be able to do in an indoor range. I don't know, but this is something you can definitely work dry fire, then wait till you have an opportunity at an outdoor range to do this. But there's no timer. And remember, if my back is facing a threat, I get to choose left or right for training. Now, of course, in real life, maybe you're forced to turn right or left. Who knows, okay? But here, I'm gonna turn to my left. I'm looking over my shoulder here. I've identified a threat. I'm going to use my left leg, since I'm looking over my left shoulder, to take a little step, then establish my stance, then take my shot. Finger off the trigger, and holster. Then everything stops, okay? I'm gonna go to the other side here, right shoulder. Since I'm over my right shoulder, I'm going to take a step with my right foot. Then, as I step in forward to my stance, I'm going to draw and take a shot. So over my right shoulder, I look at my threat, finger off the trigger, and back. Okay? Notice I'm going smooth here. I'm not working the speed, but ultimately you will. But I don't want you to use a timer until you've developed confidence and consistency with your technique. Okay? You need to be safe. Let's do the left here. Okay, so I've identified a threat here. I'm looking over my left shoulder. I'm gonna take that little step, draw, and then take my shot. Finger off the trigger, back. One more time, left. Okay. Right side, pretty simple here. I'm looking over my right shoulder. I take that little step with my right foot, draw in my stance, take the shot. Okay, one more time. Fumbled there with my draw a little bit. Okay, so you see, it's relatively a simple drill, but I want you to really make sure you get the mechanics down and the techniques down correctly, okay? Because remember what I said previously, if we add two components, a lot of beginners, they begin to let something go, meaning maybe their draw technique or their shots are bad now because they're focusing on their footwork. So you need to make sure you're really honing in and focusing on all the technique, making sure everything is correct. As you progress with these drills, then pick up the speed a little bit, but notice how I paused here. I did that on purpose. I want you to pause, then take that shot. The pause, as I mentioned in the previous video, the dry fire in the beginning, is something that will be shaved off later on. But since we're learning, I want to make sure you have your sights on target first, you're aimed in, confirm the shot, then break it. I'm here, looking to the right, stop, break the shot, okay? The reason I also am stopping, or recommend that you stop for now, okay, just for now, is to ensure that you don't get caught up in the speed and just throw a shot. So this is the wrong thing. You don't want to just do this, and I just shot over the target, because a lot of people, they're not even paying attention anymore. They're just working on the speed. So I want you to control yourself, stop, break the shot, okay? As you're doing these facing turns, remember a key thing here. We take no blind turns. I mentioned that in the dry fire session. And so what I mean by that is I want to step towards what I can see. Okay, notice I can't see something back over here. So if I'm looking over my left, I wouldn't want to do this, okay? I wouldn't want to step back, because if there was something here, I could trip and fall. Same thing here with my right. Here, I'm taking a step to where I can see, rather than taking a step to where what I can't see. If it was backwards here, okay, I'm looking over my shoulder here, right, just like this. I'm taking a step towards what I can see here. It's a little step. I can still see my leg. I can see what I'm going towards here. Whereas if I do this, I cannot see, okay? So make sure you keep that in mind. Do that with dry fire as well. I forgot to mention that on Monday, but incorporating that in your dry fire, then when you're doing live fire, make sure no blind turns. I hope you liked today's live fire session. Pretty simple because it's literally an exact identical copy of what we did dry fire. So if you did dry fire correctly, this should be simple. Remember, hone in and focus in on proper technique because now we are combining things. And remember, even though this is just a little step, that is the precursor to movement and it's going to get a little bit more advanced eventually when we add moving and shooting. So I hope you guys liked that video. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, leave some comments below if you have questions, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you guys next week.